So tuning orbs are super important when it comes to raising your expertise. Because of that, I'm going to show you how to get 2 Lazarus and 2 Genesis orbs for free. But first, let's talk about how to craft them. To craft the arena orbs, you're going to need your stone cutting up to 50. To craft the Genesis orb, you're going to need to hit 100. And to craft the Lazarus orb, you're going to need to hit 150 stone cutting. Both the Lazarus and the Genesis orbs require rune stones to craft them, which takes a stone cutting level of 200. But getting from 150 to 200 is a pretty big climb. And if you don't want to make that climb, you can just buy the rune stones off the market. Keep in mind that they can be pretty pricey though. If you're planning on having somebody else craft your runestones for you, keep in mind that they can only craft 10 a day, so they may not be able to get them to you every time you need them. Anyways, I'm going to do a quick run through of how to get your stone cutting up quickly. Going from 0 to 50, the easiest way is just by crafting stone blocks. Going from 50 to 100, you're going to want to craft stone bricks. And then going from 100 to 150, you're going to want to craft lodestone bricks. If you decide to go all the way up to 200, to get from 150 to 200, you're going to want to craft obsidian voidstone. What's actually pretty nice about crafting these is that they are pretty valuable, as they are a component to the runestones that you need to craft for the orbs. If at any point in this process you decide that you don't want to craft the items that I just showed you, you could also fuse together gemstones. What this does is just takes multiple lower tier gemstones and fuses them into a higher tier. Once you get up to the higher tiers of fusing, they actually offer you a good amount of XP, so this is a viable option. Alright, once you get your stone cutting up to the level that you want it to be, there are a few things that you're going to need to collect to craft every single orb. The first thing is corrupted materials, which drops off of corrupted portals, so you're going to want to start doing some portal runs. The level of the portals that you go for actually isn't a big deal, because it doesn't matter what the level of portal is that you kill, you're going to have the opportunity to get any tier of corrupted material. Well, except for lodestone, but we'll get into that later. What this means is you don't actually have to go out of your way to just farm level 65 plus portals. The corrupted materials actually can't be traded, so if you're going to be farming portals, you want to make sure that you're going to be crafting the orbs yourself. Also, similar to the gemstones, these materials can be fused into higher tier versions of itself, but I recommend keeping them as shards until you need them. The reason I say this is because all of the arena orbs are going to require you to have shards to craft them. So if you turn all of your corrupted materials into crystals, you're actually not going to be able to craft the arena orbs. Talking about arena orbs, you're also going to need a star metal chisel, which you get from the faction shop, lodestone bricks, which you can craft or buy, and an energy core, which is going to require you to craft an eternal heart and an elemental heart. These both are going to require motes to craft, but a good rule of thumb is that if you want to craft both of these items, it's going to cost you a total of 50 of each mote type. Outside of those components, depending on the arena that you decide that you want to go into, you're going to need 5 of a specific type of item. You could buy these items or farm them off of mobs in a certain area. Depending on the orb that you're crafting, it's going to send you to a different area. If you're going to craft the Siren Orb, it's going to require you to collect fancy shells. You can find these in mobs around Siren's Stand in Reekwater. If you're going for the Monetius Orb, you're going to need Firefox, which you can collect from mobs outside of Zygromet's Grove and Eden Grove. And finally, for the Protector's Orb, you're going to need to collect glowing swamp moss, which you can farm in the Eternal Pool in Reekwater. If you're looking to stack up on these orbs, keep in mind that you can only craft 5 arena orbs in 1 week. Moving on to the 60 plus expedition orbs, they're going to have a few things in common. One of these things is that they are going to require corrupted lodestone, which you have to craft. It's also going to require you to get an Asmodeum chisel, which is going to cost you 7,000 faction points in the faction shop. And you're also going to need some runestone, which is the item that requires you to be at 200 stone cutting to create. For Genesis, you're going to need 5 runestone. You're also going to need 1 Genesis core. To make a Genesis core, it's going to take 3 of both the elemental and eternal hearts, which is the equivalent of 150 of each mote type. You're also going to need 3 corrupted runes, which drop from elite chest around Mangled Heights and Great Cleave, and 3 molten runes, which drop from elite chest around the upper and lower Zvikin and Shattered Mountain. Put all of those components together and you can craft 1 of the 3 Genesis orbs that you can make each week. As for the Lazarus orbs, you're actually only allowed to craft 1 a week. Just like the Genesis orb, the Lazarus orb is going to require runestone and an Asmodeum chisel. The difference is that Lazarus orbs are going to require 3 corrupted lodestone and 10 runestone. So overall, they're just more expensive. You're also going to need to craft a Lazarus core. This is going to require an elemental heart, which takes 50 motes of earth, fire, wind, and air. So just pretend like you're crafting the avatar. And it's also going to require an undying heart, which requires 10 quintessences of death, life, and soul. Quintessences. That's fun to say. You can buy the quintessences or craft them through Arcana. If you decide you want to craft them, it's going to cost you 600 motes of life, death, and soul. So they're pretty expensive. You're also going to need 10 blight seeds, which are bind on pickup and can only be found in the Genesis expedition. So if you want to make a Lazarus orb, you're going to have to do some Genesis runs first. You're also going to need to drop some money in the shop or get to running chest routes because you're going to need to collect glowing spore, which can be found in elite chests around Siren Strand and Reekwater. And you're also going to need earth totems, which can be found in elite chests around Malevolence. Okay, so crafting an orb is a good amount of work and a good amount of money, so let's move on to how you can get some free orbs. Basically, all you got to do is just complete some quests. Looking at the 2 free Genesis orbs, the first one, you're going to have to visit Girish Harath in East Shattered Mountain. His third quest that he gives you is titled Ultimate Blight Defense and is going to give you a free Genesis orb. The second orb is a little bit more complicated. For this one, you're going to have to visit Derek Wardell in Eden's Grove, complete 2 quests, and after completing Azure Tears, talk to Percy Elwood, who is also in Eden's Grove. Go through his quest until you complete Strength of the Earth. Now you're going to have to go back to Derek Wardell, who's going to send you to the Last Stand outpost in North Eden Grove, where you're going to talk to Percy again. I don't know why you have to go all the way up there if he was back where you started, but you do. But Percy is going to give you 2 more quests. The second quest is titled Anguin Anguish, and it's going to give you a Genesis orb. As for the 2 free Lazarus orbs, you're going to need to head to Mountain Home in Shattered Mountain, where you're going to talk to Layson Reese. His third quest is titled Betalus Headpiece, and that one's going to give you a Lazarus orb. For the next one, we're going to head down to Reekwater and talk to Aulus Fulvius. I don't know why these names are so hard to pronounce. Maybe I'm just dumb. But basically, you're going to complete 5 quests through him, and his 6th quest is titled The Original Guardian, and that one is going to give you a Lazarus orb as well. If you want to start collecting some items that you're going to use once you run out of your free orbs, you can check out this chest route right here. I tried to make it as quick and easy as possible, so make sure to show it some love. I hope you found this video helpful. My name is Marcus, aka Apostle. Thanks for watching.